violence.
He inserted a line that says the Miller's lie. Is that not coded language for therefore we are Jewish?
No! Literally, it's not. We're going to check in on a truly wild segment from Piers Morgan Uncensored. So there's so much here, but it was an episode where Piers had on his panel a variety of guests, including Stephen Miller's wife, Katie Miller, who's a former Trump official herself, and she is a nationalist Republican. She's also apparently a strong Israel supporter, and apparently they are Jewish. I didn't actually know that really, but the two of them are Jewish. And as well on the panel, there was Cenk Uyghur. That will be important, him being on the panel, because they went back and forth, and you'll have to see, but she essentially tried to play the victim in a way that did not go over well with Piers and Cenk and the other panelists, and doesn't go over well with me either, if we're being honest. So let's listen, and I'll give you my thoughts as we go along here.
Why is it that every time someone wants to criticize Mamdani, it immediately comes back to the Jews and the anti-Israel movement instead of actually talking about his viewpoints, which is that he
Nobody
wants to
said
make
Jews. You just said it. You always do that. We say Israel, you say Jews. We say Israel is a government. Please don't make it about Jewish Americans. And you come back and go, you have to make it about Jewish Americans. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Is Israel a Jewish state? Yes or no?
Yeah. First of all, okay, so Saudi Arabia is a Muslim state, and you can criticize it all day long, all day long. There's no special protection
because
for
what you're doing is you're coding language
that
to
calls
attack
themselves
American
a Jewish state or
and
a
to
Muslim
say that
state.
we should not be here and we should not be in existence and that you would be happy.
So I'm sorry. I am not here to tell you what to think about the Israel-Palestine conflict. It is incredibly complicated, and there's people I respect who come down on either sides of this issue. But what I can tell you is that this is totally disingenuous. She is conflating, and I watched the whole hour, right? But this is just a clip, but I watched the whole thing. She's conflating criticism of Israel with attacks on all Jews. She is suggesting that whether it's Cenk, whether it's Zoran, want all American Jews to not exist or something. That is just absolutely not true. That is just a blatant lie. You can say they hate Israel, they want Israel to not exist, maybe, but it is dishonest and engaging in a form of identity politics to conflate these complicated political and geopolitical issues all with Jewish identity and say it's almost the mirror image of what like Nick Fuentes does, where he says it in the opposite direction. But to do that, to shut down discourse, and then you're just lying about people. I don't like Zoran. I've criticized him over and over again, but the idea that he wants all American Jews to not exist is not true. It's just absolutely false. So, but we haven't even gotten to the craziest parts yet. Let's keep rolling.
For other people like
No,
Mamdani to use
I want Israel to be safe.
Nothing of the sort.
Nonsense. You're totally lying. It's very normal for a Miller to be completely and utterly lying.
Quite frankly, I'm really sick and tired of this racist, bigoted rhetoric that comes from people like you against my husband, against my family, and my children. I am raising Jewish children in this country.
Who brought your
in which
children
you
into this? What a weirdo.
So I want to stop here for a moment to say that what Cenk said was, you're lying. So he's accusing his debate opponent of lying, which is not exactly earth-shattering stuff. And he's saying that's typical for a Miller. Now, it is very clear to me, and I'm not a fan of Cenk on many things, I disagree with him, but it's very clear to me that what he means is, because your husband is Stephen Miller, and he is, in Cenk's view, as a progressive, lying all the time to push far-right ideas. Like, because of Miller, not some statement about all Jews or anything like that. But she played the victim, immediately clutched her pearls and was like, I'm being attacked for my being Jewish, in a way that I think is totally disingenuous and is the same kind of victim identity politics and invoking your identity as a shield from criticism or debate that we have for so long on the right railed against from the progressive left. And I think it's just as bad if you weaponize your Jewish identity, especially in a time where I actually really do believe, and I'm horrified by it, that there's a rise in anti-Semitism. Well, don't cry wolf, right? Don't invoke it when it's not actually happening. Because as we have seen with other charges of bigotry, when you do that, you water it down and you actually embolden actual bigots by crying anti-Semitism when none exists. And someone insulting you and your husband is not them attacking you for being Jewish. I'm sorry. It's not. And she got even worse. Like, she got in this segment. We haven't even gotten to the worst part yet.
And my children. I am raising Jewish children in this country.
Who brought your
in which
children into this? What a weirdo.
Piers, I'm going to be done with this if you're going to allow racist and bigoted attacks against one of your commentators just for the sake that he will not
hang on.
speaking.
Casey, to be clear,
He inserted a line that says the Miller's lie. Is that not coded language for therefore we are Jewish?
No! Literally, it's not. What? It's coded language for, I think your husband is a liar and you guys are political hacks. It's not because you're Jewish. And I'm so sorry, but this is ridiculous. You chose to come on a debate panel and you're going to clutch your pearls and say, I'm going to be done with this. My feelings are hurt. They're being mean to me. I'm rage quitting if you don't stop them from being evil, meanie bigots. I mean, imagine if a woke guest did that because somebody was saying things that they thought were like transphobic or whatever. We would laugh at that person. We would call them a snowflake. We would say they're too sensitive. They're trying to make themselves a victim, all this stuff. And it's 100% true in this case as well. And it doesn't matter that this person is like a nationalist Republican. They're pulling the same shit. And I'm still going to call it out for what it is, which is pathetic.
Piers, where are you?
What?
Where are you standing?
God, you're so
Katie,
pathetic.
if I can speak.
Everything's your shield.
If I can speak, listen.
Fire him, cancel him,
Cenk,
America.
Cenk,
oh my God, Israel's
Cenk,
feelings have been hurt. Why don't you work for this country?
Right, can we try and get
this country?
Yeah, you are a guest on my show, and I appreciate you coming on the show, and I like you coming on the show.
And I'm saying
but,
that two other guests on your show are welcome to participate in these anti-Semitic attacks that is so permeating on CNN and MSNBC.
This is so ridiculous. I'm sorry. I have to jump in here. Somebody criticizing you personally is not an anti-Semitic attack. If somebody says that you are lying, that is not an attack on Jews. That is an attack on you. And just stop hiding behind identity. This is all the snowflake behavior that the right is supposedly criticizing the left for, that you're simply repeating here. Yes, Stephen Miller is a destructive force in American society. That is not an attack on Jews. That is no reference to his identity. This is an attack on him individually, and just deal with the merits of this.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this Omar guy who you just heard from is a progressive commentator, and I don't agree with him on very many things, but I think he's correct with what he just said. This is snowflake behavior, and someone attacking you and your husband and saying, like, you're liars, you're hacks, whatever. Maybe it's not the nicest thing to do, but it's not an attack on Jews. It's not an anti-Semitic attack. And you are shutting down criticisms by invoking your identity as a shield. That is woke. That is victim BS. And I'm absolutely not here for it. But the craziest part in all of this is yet to come. Because they have this heated debate and exchange. And Cenk Uyghur, who is a naturalized U.S. citizen, said some things that I certainly would not say or that are outlandish or controversial. He has very hot takes on one side of the Israel-Palestine debate, but it's all within the bounds of political debate and free speech. And Katie Miller appeared to suggest that she's going to try to have his citizenship revoked because he was saying things she didn't like. Listen to this.
Let me explain. So Israel does not get a pass on committing another genocide because Jewish people suffered the Holocaust. What happened in the Holocaust was disgusting.
You don't get a pass for calling them
the SS. Hold on. So what happened in the Holocaust and all the pogroms were disgusting. That doesn't mean that Israel, pretending to represent Jews across the world, gets to commit another genocide upon a totally innocent people.
So Cenk is giving his anti-Israel opinion, and you can disagree with it. You can think it's misinformed. You can think it's wrong or hateful or what have you. But he is an American citizen, and he's using his free speech and his First Amendment rights to exercise his rights and give his opinion on a contentious issue that's a pressing issue in our politics. A lot of people agree with him. A lot of people strongly disagree with him. This is normal political debate, whether you like it or not, whether you love him or hate him. Get over it. I don't know. Like, don't watch political debate shows if you can't handle opinions from one extreme or the other. Katie Miller, who again is the wife of Stephen Miller, who is a high-ranking White House official, interjects and says, we're going to come after your citizenship. You're saying opinions and things that I don't like. So we are going to use our power as the federal government. We're going to review your citizenship application to see if you made any lies on there or what have you. And basically try to get your citizenship taken away because you're saying things I don't like. That is absolutely insane. Using immigration authorities and launching investigations against people on the basis of their free speech or their opinions is absolutely censorious and ridiculous behavior. And I mean, if they actually went through with this, I guess it's just a threat for now, and I don't think she's actively in a role, but if they actually pursue this, that will be horrifying. But just to even say that is so despicable. Like, you have no right to try to revoke someone's citizenship because they have opinions you don't like. That is so un-American. And frankly, this kind of thing just gives liberal critics a massive win. I mean, the liberal commentator, James Sherwowiecki, sorry about that name pronunciation, dang, he wrote on X, "This is Katie Miller threatening to use her political influence with the White House to have Cenk Uyghur deported. You better check your citizenship application," because she was unhappy he called her and her husband liars. He calls this extraordinary, intolerable, authoritarian nonsense, and I have no choice but to agree. Cenk quote tweeted this and added as well on his end for his part, "I hope I don't get deported for winning a debate. If Princess Snowflake is going to enter the arena, she has to understand there's no crying to mommy. If she asks her husband to deport everyone she loses a debate to, we're going to start running out of people." So look, I really have huge, vast ideological differences with these people, but on this one, I think they're correct. I think Katie Miller acted like a huge snowflake here, and it's all part and parcel of an increasingly censorious and illiberal faction on the nationalist MAGA right, that they do sometimes behave like snowflakes and want to censor people. And to me, at least, that is utterly anathema to my values and to what I think America is all about. I don't want to censor or silence or investigate people because they say things that hurt my feelings. And whether it's a queer non-binary person, or in this case, a Jewish American, weaponizing your identity to shut down debate and try to silence critical opinions or criticisms of you while you're in positions of power is absolutely not cool. With me, at least. That's my take, and I'm sticking to it. But let me know what you think in the comments. I'm always open to different opinions. I will not try to have your citizenship revoked if you disagree with me in the comments. That I can promise you. Let me know what you think. Do make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, yada, yada, yada. Remember, send in your voicemails for our Voicemail Friday episodes where I react to your woke horror stories, give you advice on your personal life, and more. The link to send one in is in the description. And that'll be it for today's episode of the Brad vs. Everyone podcast. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or audio podcasts, do take a second to rate and review the show. And regardless, guys, we'll talk again real soon.